Do you know what's at the root of your back and forth relationship? I want to talk to you for a few minutes about being in a relationship that we call on and off again. On again, off again. Do you know what the real cause is? Are you under the impression, sister, that maybe you guys didn't fix the original problem and therefore it just continues to resurface? Or are you under the misimpression that if you give him enough time, he will grow up and reach maturity and begin to come around to your way of thinking? Welcome to hashtag relationships, where we're going to try to figure out what is the real reason for your on and off again relationship. There are so many of you, bless your hearts, you're really trying to make it work, but when you look up, you've wasted so many valuable years of your precious lives going back and forth with the same person. And sometimes you extend your on and off again relationship cycle with different people under different names, and it's the same type of relationship with the same type of person, and the outcome is always the same, in which, in this case, I would say the common denominator, my dear sister, is you. But for those of you who are trying to get it right with the same person, and the years are going by ever so quickly, and it just does not look like you guys are going to ever reach the finish line, let's see if we can get to the bottom of why you continue to stay in the on and off again relationship. I'll give you a word starting out. I'll give you the word fear. Are you, sister, are you afraid of being alone? Are you also afraid of making a commitment? Are you afraid of change? Maybe fear is at the root of your on and off again relationship. Maybe you are under the impression that you can't do much better than the brother that you're going back and forth with, which in this case would speak to your lack of self-confidence. Maybe your self-esteem has taken a negative hit. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about having a lowered self-esteem, but sometimes that could be the case. Maybe you would much rather make excuses for why you can't seem to work it out with a particular brother. But I want to say to you, during those periods, while you guys are not together, you know, men can't go too long without what we need. And so if he can't find someone to provide him with what you provide him with soon enough, then he'll keep coming back to you until he finds someone that can provide him not only with what you make available to him, whatever that thing is that you do so well. He'll look for it in someone else during that period of time when you guys consider yourselves off again. And he'll also look for that which is missing from his relationship with you. Men do not spend a lot of time out there without getting that things or those things in which we need. And so your availability makes you a convenient choice for him to come back and forth to you. And sometimes he needs to get space from you. And so he knows what will set you off, and he can push those buttons and get you to react in a certain way, which will give him space to go do some things that he wants to do while you're not in his presence. Sister, I want to tell you that sometimes it's not a matter of whether or not you really want him or whether or not he really wants you. Sometimes it's a matter of whether or not you guys have the right stuff to be together. Sometimes it's a question as to whether or not you're made of the right material, the right ingredients. Do you have the maturity? Do you have the stick-to-itness? Do you have the patience? And some of the other things that we sometimes take for granted, they're important, but it's not something that we can actually measure in real time because we're caught up emotionally. Do you have what it takes to be in a long-term relationship, in a secure relationship, in a committed relationship? What's at the core of your on and off again relationship, my sister? Let's look back and see if you ever really established with the brother that you don't play the on and off again game. Apparently you didn't establish that. You know, when you establish a relationship, there's something permanent about an establishment. It's a part of the definition of established. You have not established a relationship with him, and so you call it an on and off again relationship. But if this cycle has continued for any appreciable amount of time, then it's not on and off again. Sister, it's really just off all of the time. If we look down the road of common sense, you know as well as I do that if you turn on your TV and it goes off, or if you crank up your car and you're riding down the street and the car just turns off, or you're talking on your cell phone and the thing just goes off, you're going to say there's something broken about this TV. There's something broken about my car, and I need to either get whatever is broken fixed, or I need to get a new TV, or I need to get a new cell phone, or I need to get a new car. You just don't feel safe or comfortable riding down the street in a car that could turn off at any given period or any given point. It's really not smart. It's not a good idea. And so instead of following your heart, I want you to start looking at what is a smart decision. The best decision is always the smartest decision. It's not a matter of whether it's right or whether it's wrong, because sometimes you might just be afraid of getting it wrong. Well, it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of, are you making a smart decision, or are you making the opposite of a smart decision? And are you making a dumb decision by continuing to stay in this on and off again cycle? One thing that could tell you everything you need to know, sister, is does he act like it matters to him whether or not he gets it right with you? Because if it doesn't matter to him whether or not he gets it right with you, then your relationship really doesn't matter with him. And brother, I'm not player hating. I don't do that sort of thing. I'm just trying to, I really just want you guys to take a look at what you're doing and how unproductive, how counterproductive it really is. And you can spend that time looking for someone that could be a better fit for both of you. It takes two. Now, one of you can't be in a relationship by yourself. You don't have to agree to break up. You either agree to work it out, or one person has to just make the decision that you're not going to be together. Sister, you don't need to say, well, he won't let me go. That's a very dumb thing to say. Only one person decides that you're not going to be together, because one person can't be in a relationship by themselves. You don't have to agree to break up. It takes two to be together, but it only takes one to move on. As a matter of fact, I'm reminded of the song It Takes Two by Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston. It said, one can have a dream, baby. Two can make that dream so real. The lyric said, one can talk about being in love, but two can say how it really feels. One can have a broken heart living in misery. Two can really ease the pain like a perfect remedy. It takes two, baby. You can't be in a back and forth relationship by yourself, and that's usually what you find yourself doing when it's on again and off again. I believe it was Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock who said it takes two to make a thing go right. Sister, you can't do it by yourself. Remember, guys, I'm only here to help because I want for you what I want for myself. I want you guys to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a life of longevity and one of fulfillment. And